arrived. The board will come to order. Invocation by Mr. Del Giorno, Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Rader.
Dear God, known to us by many names and honored in many traditions, we ask your blessing on this Sangamon County Board meeting. Grant us wisdom, humility, and fairness as we serve the people. Help all of us gathered here to listen with respect, to disagree with civility, and to seek the common good in all we do. May our work reflect justice, compassion, and peace for all members of our community. In your name we pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll.
Canman. Take it he's absent.
He's here somewhere.
He's here. Constant. You know if Casey's here.
Excused.
Thanks. Dafsco. Diener. Del Giorno. Deppie. Douglas Williams. I saw her here, so she's here. Forsyth. Frazee. Fulgenzi. She's here. Guyton. He's here. Hall. Krell. Lathan. She's here too. Madonia. McGuire. Mendenhall. Here. Miller. Here. Rader. Here. Scaife. Here. Shackman. Here. Shepard.
Excused.
Okay. Small. Stump.
Excused.
Thomas. Chumlin. Truax. Chairman's present. 25 present, 3 absent.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And now it is the chair's pleasure to recognize Kim Jackson. I don't see Kim, but Kim, there you are. If Kim would come forward with her team. And I would like to introduce to all of you the single most reluctant people ever to stand in the well of the county board chambers. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your Sangamon County nerds. And let me tell you, they do a phenomenal job for us. We have thrown them curveball after curveball with new equipment, with new software, and they continue to rise above the challenge. We are throwing them even more incredible challenges with the hub that is now under construction. And every day they work to keep all of our systems safe from very strange people who seem to take pleasure from just disrupting the ordinary course of business. And we really appreciate the job you guys do. Thank you so much. Now, Kim, I didn't know if your group wanted to put on a skit, or everyone wanted to give a speech, or.
Really not skit or speech kind of people.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll let you return to your glowing blue screens then. Thank you all very much. All right. Minutes. Motion by Mr. Madonia, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno for the approval of the minutes of the April 7th, 2026 meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Correspondence. Motion by Mr. Del Giorno, seconded by Mr. Madonia to place correspondence on file with the clerk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Correspondence to be placed on file with the clerk. Resolutions. Resolution number 1, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution 1, resolution approving the purchase of traffic marking paint from Ozark Materials from the State of Illinois Joint Purchasing Contract in the amount of $160,000.
Motion by Mr. Frazee, seconded by Mr. McGuire to place Resolution 1 before the board. Questions or comments from members of the board on Resolution 1? Seeing none, Mr. Madoni, do you have a motion?
Not yet. We have to take a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Seeing no questions or comments from members of the board, will the clerk call the roll, please?
Canman. Yes. Dafsco. Aye. Diener. Yes. Dalgiorno. Aye. Deppie. Aye. Douglas Williams. Aye. Forsythe. Yes. Frazee. Aye. Fulgenzi. Aye. Guyton.
Aye.
Hall.
Yes.
Krell. Aye. Lathan. Not there. McGuire. Madonia. Mendenhall. Miller. Was getting there, Tom. Rader. Scaife. Shackman. Small. Thomas. Chumlin. Truex. All 24 approve.
All those voting having voted in the affirmative, Resolution 1 is adopted. Resolution 2, Mr. Clerk.
Number 2, resolution approving the purchase of glass beads from Potter's Industry from the State of Illinois Joint Purchasing Contract in the amount of $32,400.
Motion by Mr. Frazee, second by Ms. Scaife to place Resolution 2 before the board. Mr. Giorgiorno.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we consolidate 3 and 4 in with 2.
Second by Mr. Madonia. Mr. Clerk, will you please read Resolutions 3 and 4?
Number 3, resolution approving a construction engineering contract with Kuhn and Trello Consulting Engineers for the MacArthur Boulevard Extension project in the amount of $653,173. Number 4, resolution amending the Sangamon County Code by amending Title 15, Buildings and Construction.
On the motion to consolidate, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion consolidated is agreed to. Questions or comments from members of the board on the resolutions as consolidated? Mr. Giorgiorno.
Mr. Chairman, on resolution number 4, I believe that is the resolution about building codes that was worked on by the working group prior to last month's vote. I believe Trustin from the zoning office, if he could give us a quick little synopsis of what that does.
Professional questions to the professional staff.
So what we've done here, we've had, with our building code, adopted codes that have allowed us to change some of these things from time to time. The first one, the section 104.1.1, that's basically a commentary of the section that allows the building code official to make interpretations. What this does is just clarifies that in the event that we get to a situation we need to use outside resources such as an engineering group or a firm, we have the authority to do so. So it doesn't always just fall directly on us. We can outsource some of this this work. The other two sections, 107.2, 1.2. So what this is, so for the data center, whenever they submit their plans, part of their plan submission is they have to provide modeling. And modeling that they're going to meet the local, state, and federal codes. So this is, once again, it's based on an interpretation of the code. We're just putting it in actual language so it's clear. It doesn't have to be assumed or presumed. The next thing is 107.342. So the previous one, what that does is provide the modeling. This provides the actual testing. So it's testing of what would be the local, state, and federal regulations for the sound and vibration. So once the project begins, we can ask them to do a baseline. Once the project ends, they can actually, at that point, be required to show the testing that they meet what was provided in the original application. If they do not meet that standards, we can hold off the occupancy permit. So that gives us a little bit of control and some authority through this process, through the building codes. The other changes here was some of the fees. We didn't change the fees themselves. We just add some clarity. As far as our trade permits, we added fire sprinklers in there. We always felt it was assumed. We want to clarify it. We don't deal with a lot of fire sprinklers in unincorporated Sangamon County. The same thing with the battery storage and backup generators. is kind of assumed in our green energy part, but we're throwing that in there just to clarify, in the event this stuff comes in, we have a fee structure in place.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank
Very
you.
good. Any other questions or comments from members of the board? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, do you have a motion?
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call vote of 2 through 4 as consolidated.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolutions 2, 3, 4 as consolidated are adopted. Resolution 5, Mr. Clerk.
Number 5, 2026-7, Macy Morrison, 6136 Bassey Road, New Berlin, denying a rezoning and granting a use variance with a condition and variances.
Motion by Mr. Mendenhall, seconded by Mr. Hall to place Resolution 5 before the board. We're now entering the zoning portion of our meeting, and it's our policy to ask if there are members of the audience who wish to speak in opposition to the proposed zoning. Seeing none, are the members of the audience who feel it's necessary to speak in support of the proposed zoning? Seeing none, Mr. Mendenhall, do you have a motion?
Since we have no opposition, I move we waive the staff report.
Is there objection? Without objection, so ordered. Questions, comments from members of the board on the resolution? Seeing none, on the resolution, all those in favor of adopting the resolution and granting the variances signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolution 5 is adopted. Resolution 6, Mr. Clerk.
Number 6, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for community resources from Central Illinois Staffing, a manpower corporation, for the purpose of finding temporary employees for various office duties in the amount of $80,000 annually.
Motion by Mr. Truax, seconded by Ms. Lathan to place Resolution 6 before the board. Mr. Del Giorno.
Mr. Chairman, I move to consolidate 7 through 11 in with 6.
Seconded by Mr. Madonia. Mr. Clerk, will you please read Resolution 7 through 11?
Number 7, resolution authorizing the Land of Lincoln Workforce Alliance to enter into a contract with Fishes and Loaves Vocational and Literacy Center for the purpose of providing out-of-school youth services to 25 youth participants in the amount of $204,658 during the period of July 1st of 26 through June 30th of 27. Number 8, resolution authorizing the Land of Lincoln Workforce Alliance to enter into contract with Capital Area Career Center for the purpose of providing out-of-school youth services to 25 youth participants in the amount of $94,683 during the period of July 1st of 26 through June 30th of 27. Number 9, resolution approving a grant application for the Sheriff's Office from the Illinois Department of Transportation for the local agency Sustained Traffic Enforcement Program, STEP, in the amount of $55,299.52. Number 10, resolution approving a grant application for the Sheriff's Office from the Illinois Department of Transportation for the local agency mini grant enforcement program in the amount of $31,676.88. Number 11, resolution approving a grant application for the Sheriff's Office from the Bureau of Justice for the 2025 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Program in the amount of $50,980.30.
On the motion to consolidate, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion to consolidate is agreed to. Questions or comments from members of the board on the resolutions as consolidated? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, you have a motion.
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call vote for Resolution 6 through 11 as consolidated.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Resolutions are adopted. Motion by Mr. Madonia, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno for the waiver of the 10-day filing period. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. 10-day filing period is waived. Resolution 12.
Number 12, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for information systems from Thomas West for the purpose of renewing the Sheriff's Office Clear Software subscription for 3 years in the amount of $31,898.28.
Motion by Mr. Chumlin, seconded by Mr. Miller to place Resolution 12 before the board. Mr. Del Giorno.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we consolidate resolutions 13 through 28 in with 12. Have fun, Mr. Gray.
Thank you very much.
Seconded by Mr. Madonia. Mr. Clerk, will you please read the resolutions?
Number 13, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for buildings and grounds from Capital Group for the purpose of updating jail plumbing fixtures in the amount of $56,222.23. 14, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for buildings and grounds from Johnstone Supply for the purpose of air conditioning repair for animal control kennels in the amount of $39,428.97. Number 15, resolution approving the procurement of goods and/or services for public health from Memorial Medical Center for the purpose of lab services for the clinic in the amount of $70,000. 16, resolution adopting the Sangamon County 5-year solid waste plan. 17, resolution authorizing a 6-month extension for the audit of the circuit clerk's office. 18, resolution setting the salaries of the Sangamon County clerk and treasurer. 19, resolution approving the fiscal year 27 Springfield Area Transportation Study, SATS, grant for the Regional Planning Commission from the Illinois Department of Transportation in the amount of $642,326.07. 20, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Department of Human Services for the WIC Supplemental Nutrition Program in the amount of $620,160. 21, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Department of Human Services for the WIC Breastfeeding Peer Counselor Program in the amount of $66,800. 22, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Department of Human Services for the Early Intervention Program in the amount of $1,306,867.11. 23, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Department of Public Health for the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Sangamon Program in the amount of $114,032. 24, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Department of Public Health for the Public Health Emergency Preparedness Menard Program in the amount of $35,278. 25, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Department of Public Health for the Comprehensive Local Health Protection Grant Sangamon Program in the amount of $456,964. 26, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Department of Public Health for the Comprehensive Local Health Protection Grant Menard Program in the amount of $107,498. 27, resolution approving a grant application for public health from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency for the Solid Waste Enforcement Program in the amount of $80,870.40. And finally, 28, resolution approving the Sangamon County America 250 Route 66 100th Celebration Plan in the amount of $38,425.
Great job. On the motion to consolidate, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion consolidates agreed to. Questions or comments from members of the board on the resolutions as consolidated? Mr.
I need
Checker.
to be recorded as present for number 9 and number 19.
When we vote, we'll do that. You're ahead of us. Yes, Mr. Kamen.
Regarding Resolution 16, the solid waste plan, I was wondering if staff could just summarize how this new plan differs from the last plan that we had, the 2018 plan.
Let me see if we've got staff here that worked on it. I don't know we do.
No, he's coming in now.
Here, yeah.
I think I heard the full question, how the plan differs from the prior plan.
Can you please use a microphone, because we have people listening at home and they can't hear unless we use the microphones. Thanks.
The format of the plan is the same. It's just all the data moves forward and it's all updated. So there's really no difference materially in the solid waste plan itself.
Just update of the data.
Yep.
Please use your microphone, Mr. Kamen. You have the floor.
Yeah, no, so your summary is basically the difference is an update of the data from the prior plan. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from members of the board? Ms. Fulgenzi.
I have a question for you, John. Whenever we did the landfill agreements, do we have dump tickets for the county?
Not yet.
That is a very large question you asked and is being worked on intensively. Any other questions or comments from members of the board? I would like to recognize Ms. Fulgenzi again, and I'm not sure who else, but Ms. Fulgenzi, to discuss a little bit about the plan her committee put together. And before you present it, I want to express my sincere gratitude to you and Mr. Del Giorno and your committee for putting a program together in very short time so that the county can participate in these two important events this year. Ms. Fulgenzi.
All righty. We can put the logo up, the unveiling. Yes, we have a very small committee, but we worked fast. We only had a couple meetings and we're able to get a lot done, I think. And not for a lot of money either, so that's good. We developed, the first thing we did was we developed a consolidated logo to honor both of the events for Sangamon County, and it's going to be Sangamon Salutes is kind of the theme. We'll see when they pull it up. But
There.
there we go. So we wanted to honor both of the events in one logo so we can saturate both events whenever we push this out. So it has a few minor things we have to clean up with the graphic designer, but AI was a wonderful tool for this. So we created, Tony and I created this on the fly, so it came out pretty well. So we want to honor both events, the 250th birthday of the nation, as well as the Route 66 100-year anniversary. So what we're planning to do with this logo is try to really get it out there in the community to just kind of draw attention to both events and our willingness to support it and wanting to support it and honor it. So one of the things we're going to do with this logo is we're going to purchase vinyl clings that are, I think we're looking at 4 inches by 4 inches, something like that. And with those, we want to give those out. We're going to have our health department pass it out to all the restaurants or our licensees and any other licensees that we have. And hopefully they'll put them on their doors and kind of have a cohesive feel throughout the community, you know, from the north part of the county to the south part of the county, honoring these events. We're also going to give those to local governments, townships, and the schools. And then if we have events, if we have extras, we'll hand those out as well at different events, like the fair, Illinois State Fair. Dave said it's trick-or-treating at the senior building, so we can have some there maybe. And then we also have a plan to have a selfie backdrop made up, which is a step and repeat, which is something that I was educated on. I didn't know that term, but whenever you see a logo repeated in the background over and over again, similar to what Don did for voters, for I Voted. So people could take a selfie, we could have it down in the lobby, and then anytime our county departments are out, they can take that display too, and then people can do selfies there, little selfie station. And with that, we're talking possibly Sangamon County Fair, the Illinois State Fair, when we have people out there with booths, so we can have that available as well. And then we also are purchasing a 4-foot stencil of the Route 66 sign, basically, that logo that the Byways has. And we're going to put that, Brian Davis was gracious enough to be on our committee with the Highway Department for the Route 66 things. And we're going to put that stencil of Route 66 down on the old carriageway portion that was past Route 66 alignment. We're also going to have some commemorative signage that's going to honor these events as well, and also alignments, and says what years the segments the county has is what years they were in operation. So we'll have that. We're going to have T-shirts, which is kind of fun. It's going to have a chest with the chest print on the front, and then that logo big on the back. And like our highway department and all our county employees will get a shirt, commemorative shirt, and we'll work out what's appropriate for them when they can wear them and things. But we think that's good to get that logo out in the community as well in the celebration. And then the vendor that we purchased the T-shirts from is going to have a online store, so the members of the community can go online and buy a T-shirt. We're going to also have a sweatshirt out there and a polo that people can buy in the community if they want to buy one for the celebrations. And then we're looking at getting commemorative flags for both the 100-year anniversary and the 250th birthday that we're going to share with townships and local governments that they could fly, as well as the county, of course. We're looking at doing a time capsule that could be incorporated into the hub, just various items from today. That might be fun. Copies of newspapers, maybe a grocery ad from the time, so you see what the pricing was, things like that. Just something fun that we could just throw together, put inside a time capsule, as well as a proclamation or something. We're looking at doing sponsorships as well of major events that are going on in the community. So we're looking at the Mother Road Festival, and then there's another huge car show that goes on in the summer. And then there's a Route 66 Film Festival, and we're looking at doing a bundle to have the county's logo out there on those events. Like the Mother Road Festival, they have a big stage, for example, where they have the bands, and there's like logos up at the top above the stage, and that would be displayed up there. So that would be great. And I want to thank everyone who participated, who came to the meetings, and I'm afraid I'm going to miss people because people came and went, and anybody who's just gave us ideas as well. It was wonderful. So I want to thank Tony, my co-chair, and then Sam joined us, and Jen, Brad Miller, James, Dave McDonough was great too, from Community Resources, and Brian Davis. So if you have any ideas, we're also going to do a, 4th of July has been a struggle for us because there doesn't seem to be one large event that we could maybe co-sponsor, because it seems like around here it's more community celebrations. So one thing we're looking at doing is in the week of the 4th of July, having a fireworks directory, which would have the logo displayed prominently, and then a listing of all the fireworks displays in the area in the county. And we'd put that in the South County publications as well as in the Illinois Times. So if you have any other ideas, let us know. And the budget that we proposed was around $38,000, and we may not even spend all that. We're not sure. We just wanted to get a rough budget in so we could get started on this. So thanks.
Great. Any questions or comments or further comments from other committee members?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I just
Mr.
like
Crowell.
that's one of the best logos I've ever seen. So thank you guys. That's really impressive. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Very good. Any other questions or comments on any of the resolutions as consolidated? Seeing none, Mr. Madonia, do you have a motion?
I move that the roll call vote for Resolution 1 stand for the roll call votes of Resolutions 12 through 28 as consolidated.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolutions as consolidated are adopted. Yes, Ms. Lathan. You'll be, the record will reflect you voting present on Resolution 38. And Mr. Shackman, your motions were 9 and 19.
So reflected.
Yep, good. Old business, the chair is aware of no old business. New business, appointments. Motion by Mr. Madonia, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno for the appointments as submitted at your desk, including our new Community Health Board. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Appointments are approved. Public comment. All right, we have 13 people who have signed up for public comment this evening, which will just fit within our, at 4 minutes each, will just fit within our time frame. And taking the people in the order in which they signed up to speak, the first person who signed up to speak is Lori McKiernan. Lori McKiernan. Not here? Okay. The next person who signed up to speak is Claire Efron McKinney. Claire Efron McKinney. Okay. The next person who signed up to speak is Justin King. Mr. King, yes, if you'd proceed to, we're going to try to use this microphone here. So if you proceed to that microphone, yeah. Oh, that's not going to work so well because you can't. Mr. King, I'm sorry to wrong foot you, but we'll use this microphone because I realize you can't see that the time if we have some technical things to work out. So we'll go back to their traditional podium again. Thank you for working with us, and you have 4 minutes for a presentation.
Walking up here real slow, I learned that from the last meeting. Walking real slow and wasting as much time as possible must be a good thing at Sangamon County board meetings, because that's what the union folks did. And they seem to be the only folks that matter in this county, and I want to matter. My name is Justin King. I live, farm, and own land in western Sangamon County. On July 10th, 2018, the Sangamon County Board denied a use variance request from Advanced Seed Solutions, owned by 2 local residents, to build a 240 by 110-foot building on a 5-acre parcel just west of Springfield to house an agricultural seed business. This request was approved 5-0 by the Sangamon County Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm now going to quote a July 10th, 2018 State Journal Register article. I quote, "Board member Tom Madonia Jr. of Rochester commented on the number of people who had signed a petition opposed to the plan. He said he counted about 210 signatures of people who live in the area and added they are the ones who are familiar with the roads. This is democracy at its best, Madonia said. The people have spoken. Take their advice. End quote. The people have spoken. Take their advice. This is democracy at its best. You cared about what 210 people of Sangamon County wanted on July 10th, 2018, when the matter was a 240 by 110 foot ag seed business building on 5 acres. But now, when the matter is a 280 acre building, and there have been thousands of folks locally and all across this country screaming, this is not okay. You turn a blind eye. You completely disregard democracy. Why? You had no problem being the ruler of private land rights on July 10th, 2018, but now you say, who are we to control what landowners want to do? That was a board member's response. Have you driven west across this country? Have you seen the huge, vast amounts of land that is already desert, that doesn't have the ability to produce food, that is extremely low populated? Maybe if these monsters really need to be built, that might just be a better place for them versus prime, lush, green, fertile, food-producing, densely populated areas. Maybe, I don't know. Forever Chemicals, have we heard of them? This is democracy at its best, Madonia said. The people have spoken. Take their advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. Yeah, folks? No? Folks? All right. The next person who signed up to speak is Anela Martin. Anela Martin? Not here? Okay. The next person who signed up to speak is Alex Payne.
Okay. Is it working well? Okay. I'm currently 16 years old. I'm a high school student. I'm a junior. I was at the last meeting where it was very intense, to say the least. I remember a big part of the opposing side for pro data center was the fact that there would be a lot of job positions and a lot of job openings available. They also talked about how there was nothing currently being built in Sangamon County. I currently have a list on my phone right now of like 6 different locations where things are being built. There's a giant hole in the Chatham Square at the moment. There's the project that's being built right next door. There's an overpass that's going to be built on Iron Bridge and Woodside. There's an underpass being built near Lanphier High School. There's 2 types of apartment complexes being built in Chatham. And there's road fixtures being fixed near the government mansion. He was clearly just speaking out of personal feelings instead of factual. Now, for my facts, again, I'll focus mainly on the job part. Illinois' unemployment rate as of December 2025 was 4.6%. Which may not seem like a lot. However, in 2025, U.S. employers cut just over 1.2 million jobs nationally, up 58% from the number of headcount reductions in 2024. And the rise of artificial intelligence was the 5th highest reason for job cuts. The United States has signaled a willingness to offer tax breaks and open public lands to data centers, many of which will be powered by AI fossil fuels. If AI data centers powered by fossil fuels grow as forecasted, all other sectors of the U.S. economy would need to cut emissions by 60% in order for the U.S. to meet its emission target. I know that one of the proudest facts that he talked about was the fact that this will be a wind cooling data center instead of water cooling. Chatham already doesn't have good water, so I won't focus on that. but for when it comes to electricity that this data center will be using, massive increases in power needs by data centers are the primary driver of increased electricity demand. According to the report, with gigantic data centers and resulting in artificial intelligence booms, along with aging plants going offline, electricity started to become scarce again and rates have gone up. These conditions will create a credible risk of regional capacity shortfalls that will impact Illinois' future ability to import power during critical hours and may cause reliability issues. Even if Illinois produces more power, we still might be in big trouble because other states are facing similar problems. Illinois is running out of power. That's the word from State Analysis trying to figure out whether there are enough sources of electricity to keep the lights on in the next coming years. ComEd monthly bills jumped about 11% in June and another 2% increase in the expected next June. This report is really solidifying the need for us as a state to take a serious look at what can be done to preserve the reliability and affordability. The news is also a setback for Pritzker. Natural gas plants could be built in the state to help bridge the power needs until cleaner sources of electricity such as solar and wind are construction. Likely delay the closing of some dirtier, more polluting gas plants that are supposed to shut down in the next several years. I only have a few seconds left, but I would just like to say you guys are making a decision that will impact the rest of my career and the rest of my future as I grow up here in Sangamon County. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Payne. The next person who signed up to speak is Kathleen Campbell. I saw, yeah.
I think most of you know me. I'm Dr. Kathleen Campbell from Glenarm, Illinois, and I'm president of Citizens Against Heartland Greenwashing Projects. I'm sure all of you county board members remember when the Navigator Heartland Greenway carbon dioxide pipeline wanted to come through Sangamon County. They planned to route the toxic, hazardous 20-inch diameter pipeline with 20-mile shutoffs far too close to occupied buildings. Their approach included threatening me with eminent domain when they first wanted an easement literally through my backyard on my 1-acre property in a Glenarm housing subdivision. The Sangamon County Board supported us, landowners, in passing a resolution to oppose Navigator Pipeline and passed a moratorium. We now have Senate Bill 2842 in the current legislative session to simply ban eminent domain for CO2 pipelines so that companies would have to negotiate with us landowners, which they recently have refused to do. Wind and solar do not have eminent domain, but carbon dioxide pipelines, which are far more dangerous and provide no energy, do have eminent domain with no threshold for required voluntary easements before eminent domain can be given. This bill would not ban CO2 pipelines, just the eminent domain itself. Because of eminent domain, we landowners were forced to intervene at the Illinois Commerce Commission to oppose the Navigator Pipeline. That opposition cost us over $120,000 out of our pockets for legal fees, expert witnesses, and over a year of constant work. So I reached out to Chairman Van Meter. While the Sangamon County Board does not pass resolutions supporting specific pieces of legislation, Chairman Van Meter said that I could ask you all to sign a letter as individual board members to support SB 2842. Senator Halpin filed the bill, Senator Steve McClure is a chief co-sponsor, and Senator Doris Turner is a co-sponsor. We currently have 23 Senate sponsors for our bipartisan bill, 15 Democrats and 8 Republicans thus far, and we're expecting more to sign on this week. We also have 31 endorsements, I hope you're 32, from both sides of the aisle, including the Illinois Farm Bureau, the Illinois Soybean Association, the Sierra Club, and the Illinois Environmental Council. How often do you see that combination? We also have resolutions of support from Montgomery, Brown, Christian, McDonough, and Fulton County boards with others in progress. Sangamon County is very high risk for carbon dioxide pipelines. The largest Class 6 well permits in Illinois have been filed with the EPA for Christian and Montgomery counties to store 300 million metric tons in just those two sites, Christian County by Taylorville and then Montgomery County, which is, we're trying to figure out exactly where they're going there. These two proposed carbon dioxide sequestration areas comprise half of all the carbon dioxide proposed to be stored for the entire state of Illinois. If they are approved, we can expect to be inundated with carbon dioxide pipelines across Sangamon County to transport carbon dioxide to reach those two sites. If you support this bill by your individual signatures, you'll be in agreement with most Illinois voters. A July 2024 poll commissioned by Bold Alliance and conducted by Bold Research documented that 82% of Illinois voters oppose eminent domain. So please sign the letter that I will circulate to you now with your permission.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's fine. Thank you, Ms. Campbell.
If you could pass it, I'll sit down and collect it later. Is that okay?
Yeah. Why don't we undertake to get it to the clerk by the end of the meeting? Is that all right?
Oh,
And
that would be excellent.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pick it up another time? What
you,
would be
you can just
convenient?
pick it up from the clerk at the end of the meeting is fine.
That would
Yeah,
be great.
yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
We have a longstanding we have a longstanding at the county. We have a longstanding rule about we're not a debating society. We don't engage in debates over issues that aren't directly under our jurisdiction. But we also have a tradition that if people have matters of importance they want to bring before the county, we are more than willing to circulate a letter of support amongst board members for them to sign. Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Reese Moyer. Reese, maybe Rice Moyer? No? Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Christopher Sims. Mr. Sims? Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Jordan Shaw.
Good evening. So I will be perfectly honest. I feel a little selfish right now because I was one of the few opponents who was able to speak last month in regards to the zoning for the data center because I, like a lot of people, got that circulated email of the brothers and sisters, we must come together and sign up early to make sure the opponents of the data center won't sign up because Cyrus 1 asked us to. That scared me, so I signed up super early, and I was one of 3, possibly 4, depending on how you look at it, opponents who was able to speak under the 1 hour that we were only given. Suffice it to say, 1710, zoning got approved. And I don't know about you guys, but I've talked to a lot of people in Springfield, Chatham, Burden. They're mad. They're very mad. Whew. Now, I'm not saying that the 17 people who voted for the data center got paid off. I'm not. But a lot of other people are saying it. A lot of other people, including a wife of a former county board member that I spoke to just last Saturday. They are dead certain that y'all got paid off by Cyrus 1. And that's not a good look, especially come November for people who have that re-election coming up. So, what do we do? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to keep fighting. And I'm going to keep just be an annoying little former Verdonite. Because that's my hometown. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with anybody from Burden, but we don't just take defeat easily. We don't. So, I hope you enjoyed that month of relaxation, thinking it was all good and that the union had won, even though there is no guarantee that they're going to get that job, and that you didn't have to deal with all the protests and the chants. But I'm going to still be here. Here in May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, and then all over again. I'm going to still be here. And I know quite a few other people who'll be here with me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Shaw. The next person who signed up to speak is Ashty Dawson.
Good evening, County Board and community. My name is Ashty Dawson, and I'm the former Superintendent of the Veterans Assistance Commission. May is National Military Appreciation Month, a time designed by Congress to ensure that sacrifices of our armed forces are always remembered. This month reminds us that our shared freedom is a hard-won gift, maintained by the less than 1% of citizens who wear the uniform. But true appreciation lives in our daily actions. It is reflected in how we care for our veterans. Real appreciation requires open accountability. We cannot honor the veteran community if we allow members of the same community to be mistreated. Because of my deep respect for this community, I must share a painful situation happening right here. Two of our own neighbors, honorably discharged female veterans, have experienced a profound lack of the very dignity they fought to protect, myself and someone else. We were wrongfully terminated from the Veterans Assistance Commission of Sangamon County. It is deeply hurtful when an organization built on the foundation of service fails to uphold the rights of the veterans it employs. It is best that the other employee speak for herself, as will I. On March 5th, the judge advocate, Jay Hoffman, was made aware of my complaint against the chair, Martin Frechtel. On March 11th, I voiced a complaint against the VAC chair, Martin Frechtel, his disparaging and racist sexist remarks. On May 6th, I was terminated. The following VAC commission members were made aware of my complaint: Martin Frechtel, Bill Mauder, Jay Hoffman, Keith Milliman, Josh Seed, Kimberly Yantis, Anthony Bellin, Tammy Harmony, Rose Connolly, Jean Beeler, Kyle Bloomhurst, Les Morgan, Lawrence Miller, and Eric Perkins. 4 days after voicing my complaint against the VAC chair, an investigation was immediately launched, resulting in a swift reprimand and altering work conditions. During this investigation process, Eric Perkins, serving on the disciplinary committee, made advances towards me by offering to buy me a drink and trying to force his cell phone number. I refused every advance he made towards me. Ultimately, he made the motion to reject the motion for censure and move to terminate me. By failing to intervene immediately, the commission breached my whistleblower protections and permitted a hostile work environment of discrimination, harassment, and retaliation to persist. In 2.5 years, I've never received a disciplinary action, reprimand, or complaint. The physical and emotional health struggles I've faced are the direct result of this commission's choice not to address my initial complaint. This instability has placed a heavy burden on my life simply because this body has chose to protect an individual instead of fulfilling its governing responsibilities. Instead of looking for facts, the commission closed ranks. I face coordinated attacks, defamation, and false accusations. As we wear our poppies and fly our flags this month, let us commit to a higher standard. We must ensure that serving those who have served is a promise we actively live by, not just a slogan. We ask for the dignity we earned and the fair treatment every veteran deserves. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Dawson. A note to Ms. Fulgenzi, will you please watch the time for us and with respect to, thank you. We're running quite off time. Thank you. The next person who signed up to speak is Salem King.
Well, if you remember last meeting, I said I would be here every meeting for the rest of this year, and here I am. And I'll see you again in June. Wanted to tonight bring you all a couple of updates as to what me and my comrades have been up to in regards to the data center. Firstly, as you well know, a lot of people are pissed at you right now. In fact, more people have come up to me to talk about this data center, not just in Sangamon County, but in the other rural counties across Illinois that I work in, to talk about this data center and how angry they are about it since the zoning vote than I probably ever spoke to before it. Even if you think you are done with the data center, the people of Illinois, of Sangamon County and every county surrounding it are not done with this data center, and I assure you that I am giving them all of your contact information. Speaking of giving people your contact information and talking to people who are angry about your vote last meeting, my organization, the Democratic Socialists of America, as well as the Coalition for Springfield's Utility Future and multiple other organizations, have been canvassing in Chatham, Verdon, Springfield, Auburn, and Waverly. We have been talking to people door to door while they're going about their business downtown. We have been handing them resources, information about this data center, and information about how to contact all of you, and information about how to contact the other permitting agencies CyrusOne will need to go through in order to get this data center built. Unfortunately, by my count, Paul Truax, if I wrote down the name correctly, sorry, I had to write this pretty quickly, is the only one of you who voted in favor of the data center, who we can unseat in our elections this year. Aside from Sam Camahan, of course, but that job was already done by Miguel Valente. Though, that does mean we don't have to spread our resources anywhere near as far in the upcoming elections, and there are many, many more elections to come after this year, where we are going to make sure every single one of you who voted in favor of this data center is unseated, just as has happened in many more city councils and county boards across this country when data centers like this one are approved. We've also been running multiple different PR campaigns to, again, keep people informed about what it is that all of you voted for. We've been doing so much, much more honestly than SSGA, partially because we don't have the budget to send advertisements without consent to the phone of nearly everyone in the county. And Del Giorno should already be aware of some of those PR campaigns, considering the article we got in the State Journal Register and the Illinois Times refuting nearly every point he made in his article, trying to defend his vote against his constituents who didn't want it. And we are also, like I said, trying to stop the CyrusOne from getting the remaining permits they need, including the federally enforced state operating permit they'll need from the IEPA and the building permit they'll need to get from you. And before I continue, I would like to engage in a moment of bipartisanship and have a brief moment of silence for all of our evening plans when that building permit does come up for a vote. Thank you. So, the reason why I want to tell all of you, what we're up to, what we're planning, is because I want you to know that we are persistent. I am 23 years old, and many of you will rightfully assume that means I lack experience. But it means that I have plenty of time. I don't need to win in June. I don't need to win in 2026. But I'll be there in 2028, and I'll be there 30 years from now. Will you?
Okay, the next person who signed up to speak is Ken Pesha. Ken Pesha, don't see him. Okay, and the last person who signed up to speak is Gary Schultz.
Hello, my name is Gary Schultz. I live 1.5 miles from this future AI death center. I had a speech for the last meeting, but somehow only a few certain people got to speak. That was crazy how it worked out. I was going to tell you how Cyrus One got turned down in San Marcos, Texas for a few months ago because of community impact, noise, thank God you're back, power usage, and water usage. Their council listened until 2 a.m. in the morning before voting no. As a good board members do, they backed their people, not just a select few. Since finding out about this death center in October, I've been here to speak my 4 minutes each meeting, but not allowed to last meeting, to try and save my home of 48 years. What a waste of time. Well, after the vote turned out at the last meeting, we can tell how many of you didn't care enough to educate yourselves about this scam or bothered to listen to the majority just to deep pockets. And this is for Sam. Since I've been coming to these meetings, you've been one of my favorite people because you ask questions that should be asked. But you and a few others, yes voters, are paid a few donations, and all of a sudden, you yes voters can't ask a single question to Brad Howe, even after he sat there being a bumbling fool when he was called out for lying and his sneakiness, but your yeses couldn't come out any faster. I hope the campaign donations were more than what was listed, because I would have tripled that for a no vote. In the beginning, I actually thought the people saying yes didn't know, but you did know. And I think none of us know now because Cyrus One's plans change to whatever they want. And that's apparently okay. The area I live in will now be known as home of the AI Death Center. Cannot get a police presence, but you can have half the force at the BOS Center to protect yourselves because you knew what your yes voters were doing was wrong. For many months now, I go to sleep pissed off about this. I wake up in the middle of the night pissed off about this. And I wake up to go to work pissed off about this. For what you brought down on my family and neighbors. Thanks for nothing.
Oops. That concludes the public comment portion of the meeting. Reports of county officials, reports of special committees, reports of standing committees, reports of the Committee on Claims. Motion by Mr. Del Giorno, seconded by Mr. Madonia. Place reports on file with the clerk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Reports be placed on file with the clerk. Motion by Mr. Madonia, seconded by Mr. Del Giorno, that we do stand in recess until our regularly scheduled June meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We stand in recess.